Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys liked the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward.
Hey guys, it's Altcoin Sherpa with a crypto market review. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm not an expert. Do your own research. Today, let's just review Bitcoin on the daily. I'll also go through Ethereum. Uh, Nothing has really changed my overall outlook with Bitcoin over the last few weeks. Really, just expected more chop, more crabbing. Still expect the 42 43k areas to get tapped. As you can see, after these mass liquidation runs, price usually has some sort of bearish retest and then goes lower. And this is very common across the entire price action for Bitcoin. Um, Really still expecting these lower areas to get tapped. Now, we are seeing a good response today at this SR level. Um, I'll review that in a sec, but for right now, let's just, as I said, this is just really common price action. You can see after these big wicks down, you'll see a bearish retest, chop, and then you'll see the areas get tapped later on. And that's as I said, this is very common price action, and this is very normal. So I'm still expecting like the 43Ks. I do want to make it clear, though, that this is an overall bullish market structure to me. And I'll go into this other chart here where I always say in my previous videos that there's three typical trends for any asset. It's the bullish trend, which is higher highs and higher lows. A bearish trend, which is what we saw back in April, where we see this low break this other low from March, and then we had this lower high. And at that point, the daily market structure was broken. Big nuke down, bearish market structure. The second type of price action that we see is accumulation or consolidation, where we just see mass chop, kind of usually equal lows to equal highs, just, overall just lots of crab action, not much volatility. And at that point, we see this price breakout, and we saw price establish a high and a low back in August. And to me, like this high was almost always going to be a lower high than what we saw back in May. And I was always waiting for kind of this kind of 50k area, this 45 to 50k area back then. I believed that this was going to get tapped before any new lows. So for instance, I didn't think that we were going to go from 30k chop around and then we're just going to go down to like 20k. Um, what we what was going to happen was we'd go to like 30k, hit a bearish retest at 50, and then maybe go to 20k potentially, or 25k, or whatever you want to call it. But going straight from $20,000 from this type of price action is it's unlikely for a lot of reasons. But um, my overall plan during this summer period was I was going to go ahead and de-risk when price hit a potential lower high compared to these highs back in May. And this is what I did. I de-risked a lot of my altcoins. And then once I saw this like higher low get established, that's when I started to rebuy a lot of my altcoins and Bitcoin as well. Just because I thought that this was the higher low compared to August. And once this high got broken in October, that to me just confirmed that this was just a higher high. So, you know, at this point, this is a bullish market structure, and to me, this is still structurally bullish. Like this is still a higher low compared to these lows back in September. This was always going to happen, in my opinion. Like we weren't going to go from 70k all the way down to like 35k, in my opinion. I mean, maybe it's possible, like if there's some sort of black swan event, but I always thought that we were going to hit this higher low comparatively, like from set back in October, and um, my plan overall, as I've highlighted in my other videos as well, is just to wait to go and see where this next, the lower high will inevitably come. So what we're going to see is we'll see more crabby price action. Maybe it goes lower, I don't know where. And then it's going to hit a lower high, maybe around 60,000 or so. And at that point, I'm going to see if this establishes a higher low, like I'm expecting, maybe 50k or something like that, or if it just kind of makes some weak bounces and then eventually breaks below this 42K area. If it makes a lower low at that point, then I'm just going to exit all markets because I think that this is just very bearish. So to me, this is like my overall plan. I still feel very, very strongly that this hits 60K before it goes to new lows. So I don't think that this goes to like, crabs around 43K or something like that, and then just nukes lower to like 33K. It would be very, very unlikely in my opinion, and I'm betting a lot of money, like my own money, obviously, by my crypto investments and my bids on that idea that I really strongly feel that this does just not go lower. Again, bearing some black swan event. I think this it just forms a base. We chop around, maybe hit 43, maybe hit 41. I don't know where it's going to go, and then we'll go up, hit a bearish retest. And again, this squiggle isn't really accurate in terms of the time. Like Bitcoin always moves faster than we think, and when it really starts to move, it always goes quicker than we think. So I don't really take this squiggly timeline seriously, but the idea is still the same. I think that we'll go ahead and hit a bearish retest, like a lower high, and at that point I'm going to see where the low is set. So like if we hit this lower high and then we hit a higher low somewhere around 50K, or I don't know where it will be, very similar to this type of price action back in September, then I just assume that we're just going to keep going higher, and that's totally fine. Like the structure is still intact in my opinion. It's very similar price action to what we saw back in August. Again, it's very similar kind of environment, hit like a lower high and then pull back, kind of back to this base that we set before, and then we hit a higher low and then go higher. So to me, this is the exact same setup. We're going to hit this kind of lower high compared to October. We will hit a higher low, 50K or something like that, and then we're going to go up. So like I'm still very bullish on the overall high time frame structure. I don't believe that this is bearish. Again, it depends on your trading style and your overall investment timeline in terms of bearish and bullish, because you can be bearish on like the 1 minute but bullish on the 1 hour, and like and so on. So bullish and bearish doesn't really work so much for traders, but for the high time frame charts, I'm still very, very bullish personally. So that's kind of Bitcoin. That's my overall plan. Let's look at Ethereum. I don't know what's going on in this chart. Okay, so Ethereum still looks to me better than Bitcoin. This kind of bullish consolidation back in the high 2Ks. This was the last kind of real low that we set. And to me, this is still going to print a higher low somewhere. I don't know where it will be. There are many areas of support and demand areas that we see. As you can see here on the right side, this is volume profile. This is where price likes to get traded, where traders think that this is like a fair price for the asset. And we can see here that there are high volume nodes all throughout the low 3Ks. So in my opinion, this alongside the confluence with the 200-day EMA, the red line, this area will be strong support. And if Bitcoin does go to like 41 or 42K, then I actually expect even lower. Usually low volume node areas are areas of support. So like for instance, it's in the high 2Ks, 2,900 or so. Price could certainly get down to that level. I don't expect price to get down to the mid 2Ks because that would be kind of like a lower low and break market structure. You don't want to see, if you're a bull, you don't want to see this low get broken overall. And to me, this is like what's going to happen is I think it just continues to bleed down, to be frank and honest with you, if Bitcoin goes to 42K. And there will be some bounces too. If Bitcoin like bounces here, then we might like see like this and then like lower. But ultimately, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see like $3,000 get hit. And then we see like some consolidation, and then we actually just continue up higher, similar to the Bitcoin overall plan, where we hit a kind of higher low compared to what we saw back in September, and then we'll just continue higher. Like, to me, I'm still pretty bullish on Ethereum. I think it looks good. This chart to me looks stronger than the Bitcoin chart, and I am still bullish on Ethereum. But with that said, like, there could be more downside to come before it actually gets better. So in my opinion, the best idea would probably be just to scalp these types of small moves now, and then just set your bids lower if you are more of a swing trader or an investor. That's kind of my overall plan. Is right now I'm just scalping these short moves, like these 5 or 10% moves or whatever, and I'm just placing my bids lower because I do still have strong conviction that Bitcoin will fill out that 42, 43K area. So let's just go and see. Those are my overall thoughts on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Thanks so much for the support.